hello, and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. It is great to be live today for Tech Tuesday. As you can see, I'm trying out some different things here with my software. I'm actually trying to see if we can get the screen showing with my picture in the lower corner, and as well as we've got the chat box over here. So as you're coming in, if you could go ahead and just drop a hello, and we can see you and hear you and all that kind of stuff over here, I'd appreciate it, because I'm definitely trying something different for Tech Tuesday, because today I want to actually show you some things through my DAW. We're going to talk today about how to add background music as well as to a multi-track with your voiceover. I have a lot of people who are just starting out or just beginning, and they are, trying to figure out how to get better with what they're offering, as well as how to add different things like music, etc. So I'm going to give you some options that, I feel can be very helpful to you with finding music, how to put a voiceover track and music together in your DAW so that you can offer this service to people. As you know, I do reviews for a lot of people on Fiverr, and one of the things that I notice a lot is that most people on Fiverr with their gigs, a lot of them actually don't offer background music. And I think that it is, just telling to the point where a lot of us don't offer it because of a variety of reasons. We don't know how. We don't know where to get music. We don't know, whether we have to pay for it, whether we can get it for free, what we should do, etc. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to give you a couple of different options, and I really think that these options can be very helpful to you. But in the end, you have to decide what you want to do. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of go through a whole entire thing here and give you some tips and tricks on setting everything up. I'm in Adobe Audition, and this is what I use for my DAW, which is what we call a digital audio workstation. Okay, and basically I'm going to start by setting up a file, okay, and I'm going to go to File and pull up an audio file. I'm just going to call this test file, okay, and I started that. Now, I've already routed everything through because I have two microphones, so I record in two places. I record here on my editing station and my broadcasting station here outside of my booth to do these lives and coaching and so forth, and then, of course, in my booth, which is behind this station, is where I have, my other setup for actual recording. So I have to come into Adobe Audition, into Preferences, and into my audio hardware. I use the Universal Audio Thunder, the Apollo Twin with the Thunderbolt connection. And, it is, for me, I go ahead and I have two mics. So I have mic 1, which is in my booth, and mic 2, but I routed mic 2 through my front so that I could go ahead and record up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to record something, all right? And we'll see how it sounds, because I'm going to record it, and then we're going to add all the extra stuff. So I'm just going to make something up. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Let's do it. Okay, so that's pretty much an opening that I have that I generally say for pretty much everything. So I'm going to listen back here. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Let's do it. All right, so I've laid down just voiceover here, and now I have a pre-rack set up over here, an effects rack where I have just a post. I know this is getting off topic a little bit, but I do some things where I do a declicker, denoise, and some dynamics processing because since I'm outside my booth and stuff, I like to try to clean it up, and I have it hotkeyed to the letter V. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that, and basically it's just going to process my stuff. This is not what we're talking about today, but I'm just running it through before we get to it. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to go ahead and save this, okay? And now that I have a test file, I'm just going to go ahead and save it somewhere here. We'll save it on the desktop. Just so that I have it saved, okay? There we go. I'm going to save it as a WAV file. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to get to adding the music part, okay? I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Multi-Track Setting. I'm going to come up here and say Test Music. Let's see. Background. We'll do that. I'm not doing a podcast. We'll do it in the, let's see, just put that on the desktop as well. And these all look good. So, all right. So now I'm in the multi-track area. Now, getting to this spot is what we're going to take our file that we already have that we've created, and we're simply going to move it over. I just clicked it, moved it over, and now it's here. If I hit play. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony. All right, it's in track 1, so I have it here. Now, I want to find some background music to put on, underneath this track. So what I'm going to do is I want to show you a couple options. So the first option that I want to show you is a site called Bensound. Now, there's all kinds of different places. There's places that you can go on to YouTube and get free music and then download them onto different sites. However, I found that, I didn't want to show those sites on the channel because as I've gone through some of the sites, it's not, you could definitely use them and they're perfectly fine, but there's definitely some things on there that I didn't want to show on my channel, like all the pop-ups and all that kind of stuff that you have to deal with. So I wanted to show you some options of some free music that you can use, as well as some paid options. So there's many different places out there that you can find music too. One place that I like is called Bensound. Now this is a cool place. You can download. They've got all the stuff for free music. The only kicker with it is that you do have to say, where you got it from. All right, which is fair, but since by doing that you can download it all. Now, here's the thing though, you have to make sure that if you are going to use this, so I like to think of this music we're going to use for samples that we create for people or for our social media. I don't want to use any of these things here for actual work that I'm giving to someone. If I'm doing work for someone that they're going to use for purposes of actually selling something or marketing, right? I'm going to want to use files that I've paid for, in which case I use Audio Blocks. There's many other different ones, but this is Audio Blocks. Storyblocks is the entire the site, but it's audioblocks.com. This is $15 a month, and we'll go over this one quick as well. But if I come in here, I want to show you something. So I wanted to, let's see, I did that. So we're going to look for some cinematic music. All right. And what I'm doing is I'm just looking for some music to put underneath this one. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. All right. So let's see. Let's listen to the epic music. All right. We got some epic music. We got slow music. No. Evolution. Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to do it the epic music. So if I go to download, you'll notice here that you can download it for free. All right. But you can see what they're telling you that you can do and you can't do. You can use it for multimedia projects like online videos, etc., as long as you credit this. All right. But these things you're not crediting, right? So, you can't do that. That's why it's important that you don't use things like this for anything but samples or things where you can credit. So all I do is I download that, I move it over to here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over here into this file. Now it's dragged the entire file over here. Now I don't need all of this, so I can come here and I'm just going to click over this, right click, go to split. All right, and then I'm just going to go ahead and rid of that. Now if you get rid of a file, it's not gone. All right, it's still there. Let me go ahead and get rid of this so I can see comments or anything over here. So anyways, I'm here, right? And what I can do now is if I played this, if I just went ahead and played it, you'll hear it's going to be really two different tracks now. So what I like to do is I like to take the volume, all right? And all you got to do is you could come in here and you can go absolutely, Woody, there's tons and tons of places on YouTube where there's free music and free channels. You just have to go through it. And I like to just be careful because I've been to a bunch where it's worked and then a bunch where they try to get you to, it's a selling technique, right? So they're just trying to get you to get a bunch of things as well. But anyways, yes, there's tons of free music on YouTube as well as After Effects and ways that you can download it. You just kind of got to work through all of the pop-ups and all the stuff like that. So anyways, so I'm going to go, let's see, minus 15, all right? So I'm going to pull this down to minus 15, and I'm going to take it back, all right? And then I'm going to play it. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming. All right, so that's getting a little bit better. Probably what I want to do is I want to actually raise this now. So if you double click, by the way, you can actually go right to the file, which is what I love. And I'm going to raise this up about, let's see, I'm going to raise it up about probably 3 dB, okay? And then I'm going to go back to, I'm going to come over here, probably lower this just a little bit, see if we can get a little bit louder here. Now, you can actually do this inside here. You could just raise it right here. All right, here we go. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the... All right, so I don't know if this is the best music, but we're going to go with it for the background. All right, now I want to show you a couple more things here with it. What we can do, and then I want to get some other music. But what we can do is we have this line right here, as well as these lines over here, okay? Now, something that we can do is we can actually pull them down like this, and what this does is it helps you fade in and out, and it tells you right there, fade out, linear value 10, we got fade out, 19, so basically this fades in, so it starts off low, welcome to A VO's and gets louder. We can also do something like this where you come in here and you pull this up like this and you start it louder and pull it down, right? Which is really great, which by the way, when you're doing, you can go ahead and edit these, by the way, and delete them. But when you're doing this is a great method also to when you're doing demos, right? Because when you're doing demos, you're going to want to do some ducking, which is going up and down in different areas where there's not the availability of, or there's not any sound, so you want it to be louder in some places. So if I do this, welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Let's do it. All right, so and then it can fade out just like that. So that is another method in which you can also add some different effects where it goes up and down. It's really, really nice, really intuitive. If we go over to audio blocks, which like I said, I really love, I come in here and like I want some corporate music because maybe this is a little bit more corporate. Now remember, this is something that I pay $15 a month for, but can I tell you, I just absolutely love it. There's so much music, 10,000 plus results found. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Let's see. I think I usually simplicity's fine. I know we've all heard this one, right? Which people love things that they recognize. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to pull this over. Okay. Now, a cool thing about this is that I can do all kinds of different things like this. I can come in here, raise this up like so, pull this down. All right, and this at 15. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Let's do it. All right, and I can come here and then do like we could even try this. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Sorry. Let's see. Split. All right, and whoop. Cool thing is, remember this, if you split it the wrong place, you can just widen it back out. I'm here.
That I seem to step on. Let's do it.
All right, and it goes out. I can fade it in and out like that, or I can add these things in here like so. But anyways, there you go. So what I would do from this point...
Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Let's do it.
Okay, so at this point, all I need to do is come up to File. I'm going to go to Export. Now, here's something that I want to point out to you. If you go to Save... And I recommend, and this is a tip for you, this is a pro tip, if you will. When you are working on files like this, you want to save this, okay? Because saving, now you're like, of course I want to save it. But in Adobe Audition, you have the option when you're working in multitrack to save this file that you're working on. All right. And then what you want to do is, in order to actually get like a WAV file or MP3 file, you want to export. Okay, you come down to here and you're going to say the multi-track mix down, and you're going to, for this one, we're going to do entire session. See, so what happens is this actually exports the entire, like this exports the file. It renders it together. All right, but once that happens, you cannot split these. Right? But that's why you want to come in here and first hit save as, because this will save this multi-track session with the different tracks. Okay, so that when you go to use it again, or like, for example, your client comes back and says, I really like this, but I want you to change this one little part. And you're like, oh, do you know what I had to go through in order to get this done for you? This is a great way to not have to like do the whole thing over again and try to match it. It just saves it like this, this SESX file, and then you put it back into it. All right. And you pulls back up, and you can, mess around with these things again without having to do it all over again. So it's really, really nice. So you want to do that. And then of course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little, this is just something I do. I go to entire session. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and just save it as it is. Remember, you can take that out, but I don't right now because I'm not worried about that. So I just hit save. Now it pops up down here. Okay. And now here we are. Now this is a little trick that I use. Okay. I actually will bring up a single band compressor. All right. And I use these settings here. Okay. And what I do is I like to compress it, raise the volume some. All right. And then I like to cap it. Yeah, this is fine. Just like this. Raise it just a dB or, a point or so. And the reason why I like to do that is because when you compress it after that, because mind you, it's already been compressed, but when you compress the music with the voiceover in this way, it mixes them together, right? It pulls them up and pulls the toms down to where it sounds more like it's one recording, not that it's all these multiple tracks. I know you've heard those where they sound really like, you can tell how separate they are, right? It literally does sound like someone's talking and there's a piece of music, as opposed to it sounding all as one. All right, so if we listen to it now.
Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Let's do it.
All right, well, now you have a file and you can save that, and you have put background music to a file. This is great for IVR, for customers. They use it a lot. It's something you can add to your offerings on Fiverr and anywhere else on your business. I really recommend that you offer this service because a lot of people need it. Okay, whether it's for intros or outros, whether it's for productions, animations, whiteboard animations, whatever you need, videos, it's a great opportunity. I recommend, this is just what I recommend. There is many ways to do this. I recommend finding a place like Audio Blocks. There's not going to be a link. I'm not getting anything from working with Audio Blocks. I just like them a lot. And I don't mind paying the $15 a month. And you can pay annually too, but I don't mind doing that because it's not only background music, but there's tons of sounds effects, there's loops, there's intros and outros, there's tons of stuff on there, and it makes my life a lot easier. I don't have to worry about going through all of this stuff. But again, if you have a system set up already, that's great, but that's just kind of like what I love to use. All right. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful and you got some information out of it. I haven't had a chance to go over here and make sure that you get your questions answered. By the way, I want to apologize if you usually come on for Instagram, because I think for Tech Tuesdays, it's not so much going to work as well because of the fact that we have situations where I can't really show, because it's recorded on my phone. So we have Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube today. So let's dive in to see what we got over here. We've got Venkerman. What's up, my man? Haven't you got enough of me? We've got John. What's up, my friend? We've got Flip. Awesome. Tiffany, hello. Richard, what's up, man? Darren, I don't offer background music anymore because it's revision central. No one knows what they want. I hear you. By the way, that's why and I didn't do this when I first started, but that's why I really make sure that I try to include this, that I save it and make sure I save it religiously, because people do like revisions, and if you don't save that, it is a pain in the butt, right? So, yeah. All right, let's see. We've got Woody. There are tons of channels on YouTube for royalty-free, right? We talked about that. Absolutely. When you play back the track, it's sounding really faint to me. It could be, too, because when I play it back, I'm not necessarily sure. I don't have this routed through the playback. I guess it's not routed necessarily, so you're hearing it being picked up from the microphone, I suppose. Okay, I don't know if that's why. I'll have to work on. I'm still working out the technical things about showing audio through my computer and sending it through OBS. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm sure there's a way to do it, because I'm using the software as OBS in order to run all of this, and there's multiple pictures in it. Like, here is the software I'm running. If you can see that, I have this is this piece in the middle of the screen, and then I have this, but I also have a picture separate that you see me down here in the corner. So I'm learning, and I've got different things up in here, and I don't know if you noticed, but you also have, I have this down here. By the way, this is another cool thing. I know this is probably something odd to go over this too with you guys, but this is what I use that's running all of this, because these are all separate pictures that are running within this, and on my screen all I see is this and this, but you guys have these different things here. So this software, you can add all sorts of stuff to this. You can add, different pictures, and all I did with this is that's one of my logos, and it's on a transparency, and that was put into there. So anyways, let's see. When you play back, okay, we talked about that. Audio on Tonox is a great site also. Sweet. Great. I usually set my music between -15 and -20. Yeah. Woody says, so when you are speaking, track has your voice. What is the max level for background music that you use? Of course, it depends on the music. Yeah, like I said, and I think what Hilton said as well, that's what I usually use. I mean, it depends, though. It depends on what we're doing and what piece we're doing. I have found that between -13 and -18 for myself is a sweet spot for the way I like background music to sound. However, I've worked with many clients who like it louder or, or softer or whatever in different spots. So that's definitely something to consider is what your client's asking for too. Let's see. Jeremy, great videos on YouTube for ducking. Yes, there is. Absolutely. Hilton says audio for VO is usually -3 dB. Yes, but I want to point out why that is, by the way. We usually do, and I've started changing what I do because I have become, and we do this a lot, you guys, and I want to point this out to you. The reason why -3 dB is a standard or a way to do certain things is because when you would hand a piece of audio to an engineer, right, you would leave what we call headroom, right? from negative 3 dB to like 0 dB, right? To the point to where it almost clips. And you leave that room so that there is room to add the special sauce, have music in the background, right? So that we can compress and pull it all together to make it more, right? To leave some room to add to the tracks. But I found that there's a lot of things that I do where I'm the end person, right? Where there's no one else after me with the audio. So I want to make sure that my audio is, in certain situations, like if I'm doing a radio spot and they're using me to make the entire, I have a bunch of people I work with who have me make the entire thing. Like they have the voiceover, the background music, everything ready to be sent to the radio station, right? And then the radio station, when they put it on there, they have their own compression and they put it all through their own stuff. But you know what I mean? So you have to understand what you're doing. But absolutely right when it said for -3 is where you pretty much start. But I have found that I like my volume to be louder in a lot of situations because I'm dealing with a lot of people, especially on Fiverr, who are not able to go in and make changes to it and know what they're doing. So I'm trying to, if they ask me for a certain thing, absolutely. But I actually started raising my volume on things. So that's just me personally. All right, let's see. Angela says, nice AP. Donna says, does Audacity take out a singer's voice so I could use the instrumental track? Yes, and so does Adobe Audition, and there's other things, but I've found that it doesn't always work the best. It works pretty good, but it doesn't always work the best, right? But it's not a bad, it's not a bad thing to be able to do, and somebody might ask you to do that, but sometimes you can't get it all out. Does that make sense? And you got to play around with certain things. But thank you. Thank you for putting that in the chat. And I think Hilton said, vocal remover for karaoke. All right, Donna says, thanks, Hilton. Be careful because social sites will flag your music. Loop masters and another site get to free music. And that's another thing too. You got to be careful when you're using all that stuff. And to me, it's not worth the headache, like the $15 a month, on that particular site or getting the free stuff from YouTube is a lot easier than dealing with all that stuff. All right, Woody says, and one other tip, record your audio, copy that, and edit the copy in the session. At that point, if you get too far in the edit, you can always go back to the original. Absolutely. By the way, I know I didn't go over this, and we'll go over this another time, moving more in Adobe Audition, but what's really cool is that when you record in here, you can actually record in multitrack, and then you can use multitrack. You can use this effects rack, which is non-destructive, meaning that, just like any Adobe products, when you record, there's a history that you can go back to them, right? But once you do this, unless you go back to it, you're going to lose what you've done if you redo something back here, right? So, but with this, the cool thing is when you add this in, it tells you, it shows you what it sounds like, right? But it doesn't actually do it it doesn't actually make the change until you render it. So it allows you to continuously work on, editing and stuff without having to worry about the mixing and everything that you've done already. So that's a really nice option too in multi-track as well. The only other way to do it is when you are in a waveform, there is this thing up here where it's a show preview editor. And basically what this allows you to do is you can actually come down here and add, you could pull up and say, all right, let's see, I want dynamic processing, right? And I pull this up and, I'm not going to pull it. Let's do something else. So I could say, I want to do, let's say multi-band compressor, and I have it on broadcast, right? So what it does is, you see what it does right down here? So let me turn that on. So it gives me a preview of what it would actually look like. All right, and then when I press play,
sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business.
So you can tell this previews it for you. So this is how you do, this is how you check something out in the waveform and not the multi-track, right? Previewing it. and it's non-destructive because you haven't done anything, but you can't necessarily stack that, right? And then you just go back to that. So anyways, yeah, so good call there. Let's see. Donna says, thanks for the tips. Absolutely. Apologies that this isn't strictly a voiceover question, but let's assume that I have a backing track and another track with a musician playing an instrument. Would what you have just demonstrated work to produce the recording with both parts playing? Absolutely. So remember that this is, by the way, if we go back to this, what's cool about multi-track session is that you also have all of these these are, you can add to these, you can add as many tracks as you want. You can also, if you come to here and you go to multi-track, see they've got a bunch of different templates. All right. And I've done, like you can do a 24 track music session. You can do, there's a podcast one. There's guitar. There's all sorts of different things. Stereo sequence. I mean, there's full rock band. All right. So let's see. We get full rock band here. So what you have, you got microphone. You've got kick. They've even put different settings in there with the different things. You can, do whatever you want. I mean, there's so much you can do with this, and it all boils down to the same thing. You have a track. You can use every single one of these tracks too. Has effects. All right, it's really I really love Adobe Audition. So I know you didn't say it was that, but there, you can definitely use it. Yes. Let's see. Do you know if Isotope is used independently or other software or with something? So I actually have, I purchased the entire Isotope, the RX-7 suite, the entire suite, because I do a lot of editing for people as well, and their voiceovers and so forth. So I bought the whole suite, and it was very nice. It comes with all of these things. And basically, I don't know if you, okay, so what you do in Adobe Audition is you come down here. So you purchase Isotope, right? And you come here and you download that on your computer when you buy it. You go to Audio Plug-in Manager, and then you're going to come down here and you're going to hit Scan for plugins. It's really wonderful. It will scan your entire computer for plugins. It will find it. Once it finds it, it will upload it. You hit OK, and then it will show up right in your effects down here, and what you have effects here, right? It's really super simple. Really nice. All right, Greg, knowing when to cut the music and taper the sound is a real challenge. Well, yes, I mean, we get into the art of it, right? There's the technical aspect of it, and then there's the art of it. And the art of it is a whole nother thing. Apologies if this is if it's a stupid question. No, not at all. Let's see. What version of Adobe is that? So I use Adobe CC. So this is the latest version. I think Adobe 2019, I believe, or whatever the latest version is. So I like to use Adobe CC because I get the whole suite. So if you come up here, if you notice, like I've got everything here that I can use. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe there is an update. Oh, the music. But see, I use it all. So I use all of the different. I use Premiere, After Effects. I use Photoshop. I use Adobe Audition to run my business. My online business. So I like to use it all. Let's see. Running in class late. Sorry. Oh no, that's all right. Isotope RX-7 can be used independently. I see it. Maybe that was your question. So yes, you can actually use it independently. And I do have, so since I bought the whole suite, there's actually, and I don't have it, of course, because this is attached, but you can actually run it. Yes, you can run it independently. It comes up with an entire different screen. I'd have to find it. I don't have that set up right now because I don't use it regularly. But yes, that is true. That is true. Maybe that's something else that we can do at some point. I was too late. That's okay. It's all right. I do. Awesome. What he says he does. All right, you guys. Well, hey, thank you so much. I know there's so much to dive into this, and there's so much fun to have, but I want to make sure that, there is definite rabbit holes that we can fall into. But at the same time, these are applicable things that you can do right now to offer more for your voiceover business so that you can actually, make more money, make yourself more marketable by offering just a simple background music. And of course, this is the prelude, I feel, to being able to start to produce your own samples that are above and beyond just a voiceover, adding music and then adding effects. Right? Because adding effects is just as simple as going into, like I said, Audio Blocks or wherever you're using, or the free ones off of YouTube, and putting them onto this. Now, the challenge I have with YouTube sometimes, and the reason why I didn't show that as much, is because, like I said, sometimes, it's there are downloaders and they're usable, but again, they come with a lot of you just got to make sure that you have the proper software to block any anything that could pop up, or like any viruses or anything like that. So anyways, that's just why I don't use YouTube a lot. Could you do an Audacity version of today's session? Yeah, I'll definitely try to see I don't use Audacity very much. I do have it. You know what I mean? Because I think I have, let's see, you could see my screen. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That just popped up, but I do have Audacity, and, I know how to use Audacity, but I don't use it very much because I really love this. So I will look into that, because I know people really, really like Audacity because it's free, and it's pretty nice. And I know they just added some things to it as well. So I will definitely look into it for you, John. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today, and I will, please like, share, make sure you sub to the YouTube channel, retweet this, and like, leave comments. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for today's session. For Tech Tuesday, remember, tomorrow is Wisdom Wednesday, thanks to Ben, and I will talk to you guys then. All right, thank you so much. See you later. Goodbye. I think we're going to stop streaming. All right, bye-bye.